Hi, we are Project Lockdown. My name is Jeremy and I'm the HR assistant. And I actually joined Project Lockdown in June of 2020 because I wanted to help in some way with the pandemic after graduating college. And Project Lockdown seemed like the perfect opportunity. Through Project Lockdown, I was able to meet many wonderful people from different backgrounds and pick up on numerous skills, including organizational leadership, teamwork, and gain more knowledge about human rights and current happenings around the world. It's a wonderful way to stay connected and informed during our world today, and I'm really enjoying my experience with the project. Now I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce my co-presenter, Grace.
Hi, I'm Grace, and I've really enjoyed being able to meet so many amazing people and gain a new perspective on many different topics. Joining Project Lockdown has helped me develop my communication and teamwork skills, all while doing something that improves the community around me.
What is Project Lockdown? Project Lockdown is an active civic tech initiative of the IO Foundation that started in March of 2020 with the vision of creating a comprehensive and open source platform that would provide citizens, human rights organizations, and others with reliable data that monitors the impact of government policies on human and digital rights around the world. While the rest of the world is focusing on medical cases, we saw the need to protect human and digital rights, especially in these difficult times. The team has since grown to consist of over 80 volunteers at its peak, with data scientists, editors, designers, and web developers. We also have support teams in human resources, resource allocation, documentation, and marketing and communication.
The goal of Project Lockdown is to ensure that human and digital rights are being protected in the midst of the pandemic and beyond. Project Lockdown acts as one comprehensive platform to provide accessible data about government interventions to COVID-19 around the world. As we do this, our organization focuses on three central values: community, accountability, and impact. We strongly believe that human rights are relevant to everyone, regardless of age, location, or ethnicity. Therefore, community participation is imperative.
So, why Project Lockdown? Project Lockdown is a user friendly interface that allows people to easily see how government interventions have influenced individuals' rights. With the start of COVID, Project Lockdown is unique as it does not just track the number of cases, but it also tracks the effects of government lockdowns and legislation on human and digital rights that resulted from the pandemic by encoding and representing them on an easy to understand map. With the website, you can easily see these changes over time, from the start of the pandemic until now. Overall, the purpose of Project Lockdown is to hold these governments accountable, ensure reliability and transparency, and provide data that allows people to compare measures and resulting impacts across regions.
To most effectively present high quality and accurate information, Project Lockdown follows this general strategy. First, each data point is related to a well-established human or digital right that could potentially be affected by lockdowns. Some examples of these data points include daily life restrictions and mobility. We only use official sources from the government to ensure legal merit, and we strive to be as specific as possible and break up each territory into as many subregions as we can.
Our deliverables also include a mapping platform and an open data API, as well as the coverage of data points from over 247 territories and 6 regions. It also includes the incorporation of multiple data set layers. In its current iteration, Project Lockdown offers one data set mapping COVID-19 NPIs from the perspective of their observance of internationally recognized human rights treaties. However, one of our goals as a project is to eventually expand to become a human rights observatory in general that is not just limited to the mapping of COVID. Future dataset layers that are under development and will come about in future versions of the platform include contact-facing apps, immigration, and national digital identity initiatives, among others. It is also important to note that Project Lockdown does not make predictions. Instead, it unfolds the natural progression of policies, should they be modified or updated.
So here's a map of what the Project Lockdown website looks like. As you can see, the regions in the world are color-coded to indicate the state of an area. Green corresponds to no lockdown, orange to partial, red to full, and gray to no data. You can click on each individual region to see a more detailed overview of each data point that we mentioned earlier. And the time slider allows us to observe and visualize changes in the numbers of territories in lockdown and the number of people affected. This mapping platform can also be embedded, and the user interface can be configured to fit the needs of any hosting website.
Moving into our future plans, we are currently developing many new features, including increasing our data intake. Data funnels are the methods that Project Lockdown uses to identify source origins, encode the sources into data points, and review them for quality assurance. The methods that we hope to continue to incorporate in the future include crowdsourcing, which is data introduced by citizens, machine learning, which is generated through natural language processing algorithms, and most importantly, direct feed, where we invite public authorities to load their policies directly onto our platform. Another feature that we hope to include is a tool to determine the negative impact of policies. We're working on a red flags feature, which will provide a map of potentially worrisome government intervention. An example of a red flag includes if a government enforces an increased amount of military presence with no defined end date. Examples of red flags are also provided on this screen. We're also looking to launch the Global Rights Index. Specifically, we are working on developing a way to use our current data to create a quantitative measure of how much rights are respected worldwide. This will be derived on how governments abide by general human and digital rights protection. Other future plans that you see here also include the breakdown of more territories, the incorporation of a global internship program for engaged high school and college students who can gain more expertise in their desired career fields, and the addition of more API formats as well as a press play button on the time slider, as you can see here. These are all a work in progress, and we would love your contribution in all of these areas.
Although we've experienced great success with Project Lockdown in just over a year, like any organization, we've also encountered some challenges along the way. While collecting data for our platform, it's been difficult to source original pronouncements from territories since they're often deleted or moved, so our teams have been forced to rely heavily on the Internet Archive. Some other challenges that we've experienced include the lack of consistency in sources, as well as the lack of availability for government sources, as this limits the amount of reliable data that we can gather and incorporate in real time. Also, difficulty with translating and the scarce availability of multilingual editors has been a barrier when building our data source. Finally, even if we find and translate these resources, it's challenging to know how consistent governments have been, both in how they report these measures as well as how they implement the measures reported.
Aside from data, being a global volunteer based organization has brought in a variety of organizational interests and challenges. The difficulty of activities such as securing consistent funding and recruiting or retaining reliable volunteers has been heightened during the pandemic. Additionally, the availability of specialized professionals for particular volunteer roles, including UX UI designers, developers, or research editors, has been limited throughout the course of the last year. Along with this, establishing virtual cohesion and collaboration among volunteers across 15 different time zones has certainly been challenging. Overall, we are an organic project that is responding to real life situations that are constantly changing and evolving. So, to keep up with the pace of the government's policies and our own volunteers can be difficult. Nevertheless, we have a strong group of leaders and experts on our team who have allowed us to build out our vision of creating a sustainable and reliable platform and take our stand in favor of justice and human rights.
Some of our future initiatives include finding and engaging organizations committed to the observance of rights and discovering and retaining funding opportunities as well as business development to make the project self-sustainable. As part of our commitment to our community and accountability values, we launched our repository on GitHub, where you can find all the information about the project and its source code, observe the work that we're currently doing, and see what we're planning for the future. Additionally, you can see all of our open positions and see where you might best fit in our organization. Every one of us who works on the project is an agent of change, and by spreading awareness of what we do, we can make a substantial difference together. So if you're passionate and interested, please contact us.
Here are the platforms where you can contact and find Project Lockdown, including our website, GitHub, LinkedIn, and Twitter. On the right, there is a QR code that you can scan, which brings you to our link tree that has links to all of our platforms as well. Project Lockdown is made possible thanks to the following organizations. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please join us in the AMA for more information.